All right, so are you ready to just dive right into this? Because we are unpacking one of the most insane La Liga matches I think I've seen in a while. Real Madrid versus Valencia from January 3rd, 2025. You know, you sent over a bunch of news reports, player ratings, all that stuff. And let me tell you, this was not your average run-of-the-mill game.
First match of the year. And boy, did they set the bar high from trauma, didn't they?
Seriously, we're talking comeback win, missed penalty, red card, a last-minute goal, you name it. It was one of those games that makes you remember why we love football, right?
Absolutely. And the fact that it was at the Mestalla, Valencia's home turf, just adds another layer to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So Valencia was, you know, they were fighting to get out of the relegation zone, while Real Madrid, I mean, they had their sights set on the top spot. But there's got to be more to this story than just, you know, where they are in the league right now.
Oh, absolutely. You can't forget about the Vandal. You know, the rivalry, the history between these two teams. There's always an extra level of, you know, passion, grit, you name it, when they face off.
Okay, so high stakes, heated rivalry. What else? What else is going on?
Well, this match actually had kind of a unique twist to it. So Valencia they had planned to honor Real Madrid before the game for their support during a recent natural disaster. So you can imagine, right? Yeah. All these emotions kind of swirling around before the match even started.
Yeah, talk about a roller coaster before the match even starts, right? Yeah. So once that whistle blew, how did things actually, you know, how did it play out? Did Real Madrid just come out and, you know, dominate right away?
You know, it's interesting. Real Madrid did start strong, but Valencia's new coach, Carlos Corberán, clearly had a plan.
Okay.
His team was ready to fight back. They were not just going to just lay down.
So this wasn't going to be a walk in the park for Real Madrid. I can already feel the tension. What happened next?
So Valencia's Hugo Duro, he managed to slip one past Real Madrid's defense, and bam, first goal of the match. The crowd goes absolutely wild, and you could just feel that momentum shift.
Oh, I bet. I bet that Mestalla was just electric. Did Real Madrid answer back, though? You know, quickly?
Not so fast. Valencia's goalkeeper, Stol Dimitrievski, he was on another level that day. Some unbelievable saves, denying Real Madrid time and time again, especially in that first half. He was a wall of.
Okay, so it sounds like at this point Valencia's in control. What was Real Madrid's response? Did they, you know, let that early goal get to him?
Well, they didn't back down. Early in the second half, Kylian Mbappe, he earns a penalty for Real Madrid. Seemed like the perfect opportunity to even the score.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? Penalty. That's got to be a sure thing.
Not this time. Jude Bellingham steps up to take it, and I kid you not, he hits the post.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine?
Oh, what a missed opportunity.
The frustration.
Oh, man. That's got to be, you know, a gut punch for Real Madrid and for Bellingham. Did that just shake their confidence?
Yeah, it seemed to, for a little bit. And then, just to make things worse, Mbappe then had a goal disallowed for offside. Mm-hmm. You could see the frustration building in those Real Madrid players.
Okay, so a missed penalty, disallowed goal. That's got to be demoralizing, right? Mm-hmm. Did anything else happen? Was there anything else to, you know, add fuel to the fire?
Let's just say things got a little heated. Vinicius Jr. got into it with Dimitrievski.
Okay. And
ended up getting a red card for violent conduct. Real Madrid's down to 10 men.
Whoa, hold on. A red card. That changes everything, right? Was it justified? Was it a bad call?
Well, that's the debate, right? Some people thought it was harsh. Some people thought it was the right call, but
either way, being a man down is a huge disadvantage, especially against a team like Valencia. I mean, you'd think that'd be it for Real Madrid, wouldn't you?
Yeah, logically you would think so. And here's where things get really interesting. Real Madrid refused to give up.
All right. Now I'm on the edge of my seat. So what happened next? How do they pull themselves out of this?
Well, first, you have the veteran Luka Modric coming off the bench, and in a moment of pure brilliance, he scores the equalizing goal. Just classic Modric, you know, delivering when it matters most.
Wow. Talk about a clutch performance. Okay, so the score's tied, but Real Madrid's still down a man. What happens in those final minutes?
So remember Bellingham? Guy who missed the penalty earlier?
Yeah.
Well, he redeems himself in the most dramatic way possible.
Don't tell me he scored the winning goal.
He did.
No way.
Stoppage time, no less.
Wow.
Talk about a roller coaster of emotions for that young man.
From zero to hero in the span of a single match. That's incredible. Final score 2-1, Real Madrid. That's going to be tough for Valencia.
Oh, absolutely. They fought hard. They played with heart. but sometimes it's just not enough.
So we've got this dramatic finish. We've got this insane back and forth. What does it all mean, though? Was this just a fluke win for Real Madrid, or does it say something more about them?
That's the question, isn't it? The thing is, even with a man down, even after that missed penalty, Real Madrid found a way to win. And that says a lot about their mental strength, their ability to perform under pressure.
It's like they thrive on the chaos.
Exactly. It's almost like those setbacks just fueled their determination. They've been in those pressure cooker situations before, and, they know how to navigate them. It almost felt like a microcosm of their entire season, wouldn't you say?
I think you're right. There's so many layers to unpack here, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dig a little deeper into, the tactics. How did Corberan's approach with Valencia hold up against, Real Madrid's might?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
So you're saying things get interesting when we look at the tactics.
Yeah, one of the first things that kind of jumps out at me is the Corberan's choice to go with a 3 center-back formation. It's a pretty bold move.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering Real Madrid's attack.
Okay, so I'm trying to picture this. 3 center backs. That sounds very defensively focused.
Was he essentially trying to, build a wall in front of Dimitrievski?
Pretty much. It was all about that defensive solidity, forcing Real Madrid to get creative if they wanted to break through. And for a good chunk of the match, it worked. They really disrupted Real Madrid's flow. And those few chances that did slip through, well, Dimitrievski was there.
Right, so Corberan's tactics, it sounds like they were working. But then Real Madrid, even with 10 men, they score. Not once, but twice. How?
Yeah.
What changed?
Well, sometimes, circumstances force your hand. After the red card, Ancelotti had to make some changes. And bringing on Modric, that was a brilliant move.
Ah, Modric, the veteran midfielder. Why was that substitution so impactful?
Modric just brings something different. His vision, his passing. He opened up spaces that Valencia had shut down, before he came on. And let's not forget about Bellingham's winner. Yeah, it came from a Valencia defensive error, but it also shows how relentless Real Madrid was, even down a man. They never stopped pressing. So Real Madrid's experience, their adaptability, those were key factors in their comeback.
Absolutely. They didn't panic. They stayed focused. And they took their chances.
This match, it wasn't just a physical battle, it was a mental one too. Both teams had to deal with the pressure, the momentum swings. What were your observations on that side of things?
Valencia started so strong. You could tell they were feeding off the energy of that home crowd. There was a real hunger there, like they had something to prove. But after Real Madrid tied it up, I don't know, it felt like something shifted, like they lost a little bit of that belief.
And on the other hand, Real Madrid, it seemed like they got more and more confident as the match went on.
It's almost like they used those setbacks as fuel.
They're a team that's known for overcoming adversity.
It's true. It's like those challenges, it's like they ignite something in them.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Real Madrid. But what about Valencia? What does this loss mean for them? Especially, in their fight against relegation.
It's got to be a tough pill to swallow, no doubt. They put everything into that match, but they came up empty. It's going to be really important for them to regroup, to not let this loss, derail their whole season.
They did show that they can hang with one of the best teams in the league.
Absolutely. They were organized defensively, created some decent chances, and most importantly, they fought hard.
It really does seem like Corberan is starting to make a difference with this team.
There are definitely signs of progress, but it's still early, It'll be interesting to see how they evolve under him as the season goes on.
Now back to Real Madrid. Is this a turning point for them, or was this, just a lucky escape?
It was a big win for sure.
Yeah.
A message that they're not going to go down without a fight in this title race. But we know the season is long. There's going to be plenty more challenges ahead.
And we can't just ignore, that whole incident with Vinicius Jr., that red card.
Yeah, we have to talk about that. It raises some questions about his temperament, for sure. He's an amazing player, but this isn't the first time his behavior on the pitch has been an issue.
So it's not just about this one match.
Right. It's about the bigger picture. Building a team that can perform consistently. Managing personalities, making sure everyone's on the same page.
This whole deep dive, it's making me realize that there was so much more to this match than just the final score.
Oh, absolutely.
We saw the tactical battles, the mental toughness.
And this is just the start.
Yeah.
Both Real Madrid and Valencia, their stories are still unfolding. And this match, it just adds another layer of intrigue. It makes you wonder what's next for these two clubs.
All right, so you've got me hooked. Tell me more. What else can you tell me about this wild match? It's really hitting me as we're talking about all of this. You know how this match kind of shows us what the whole La Liga season is like?
Yeah, I see you.
We see all the big stories playing out,
Yeah.
the race for the title, the fight to stay out of relegation, players having their, ups and downs.
And it's more than just what happens on the pitch, too. Like Valencia wanting to honor Real Madrid before the game, even though they're huge rivals. You don't see that every day.
It's a reminder that there's, a human side to all of this.
Absolutely. And then you think about the media storm that's going to come after a match like this.
Oh, yeah.
What are the headlines going to be?
Oh, I can already imagine. The Vinicius Jr. red card, people are going to be talking about that forever. Was it the right call? Does he need to, control his temper better? What does it mean for Real Madrid? The pundits are going to have a field day with that one.
And Bellingham, the young star who went from missing a penalty to scoring the winning goal. That's a story you couldn't make up.
He's going to be on the cover of every magazine.
Right.
It's amazing how quickly things change in football.
And what about Corberan? Is this a good showing, even though they lost? Or a missed opportunity? How much pressure is he under to turn things around at Valencia?
This match has really given us a lot to think about. But before we go, what's the one thing you really want our listeners to remember from this whole deep dive?
I think the big takeaway for me is that football is a game of, tiny moments. One missed penalty, one amazing play, one little mistake. Those can be the difference between winning and losing.
And no matter how bad things look, it's never over until that final whistle.
Exactly. Real Madrid proved that. And even for Valencia, even though they lost, you could see their potential. You could see their fight. And that shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This was a match that had everything. The drama, the controversy, amazing individual performances, and so much heart.
It reminds us why we love this sport.
Yeah.
It's unpredictable, it's full of passion, and it keeps us coming back for more.
So to everyone listening out there, keep an eye on Real Madrid and Valencia as the season goes on. Their stories are far from over.
And remember, sometimes the most exciting wins come from the most unexpected places. Just look at Bellingham today. That's football for you, always keeping us guessing.
This has been an amazing deep dive. Thanks for joining me and breaking it all down.
It was my pleasure. Until next time.